3 months ago, Robert walked into my office looking defeated. At 67, this former construction foreman who had built half the schools in our county could barely climb a flight of stairs without getting winded. His wife Margaret had practically dragged him in after he'd fallen asleep during their grandson's birthday party. Again. "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore," Robert told me, slumping in the chair across from my desk. "I wake up tired. I'm tired all day, and I go to bed exhausted. My joints ache, my thinking feels foggy, and honestly, Margaret and I haven't been close in months. She deserves better." I've heard variations of this story thousands of times in my 30-plus years of practice. Men reach their 60s and suddenly feel like their bodies have betrayed them. They accept aching joints, low energy, and diminished intimacy as inevitable parts of aging. But here's what I've learned. While we can't stop time, we don't have to surrender to feeling terrible. The truth is, many men suffer unnecessarily because they don't recognize the early warning signs that their bodies are crying out for help. They wait until problems become severe before seeking answers. By then, what could have been simple fixes require much more aggressive intervention. That's why I developed 4 simple tests that any man can do at home. These aren't complicated medical procedures. They're straightforward checks that can reveal whether your body is functioning as well as it should. Think of them as your personal early warning system. Robert was skeptical when I first explained these tests to him. "Come on, Doc," he said. "If it was that simple, wouldn't everyone know about it?" But after I walked him through each one and explained what to look for, something clicked. For the first time in months, he had hoped that he could feel better. These tests don't replace regular medical checkups. Nothing can substitute for professional care. But they can help you understand what's happening in your body right now, today. They can show you whether the fatigue, joint pain, mental cloudiness, and other issues you're experiencing are just normal aging or signs that your body needs support. I wish every man over 60 knew about these simple checks. They take just minutes to complete, cost nothing, and require no special equipment. Yet they can provide insights that might take weeks of doctor visits and expensive tests to uncover. What makes these tests so valuable is that they measure things your body does naturally every single day. Your heart beats, your blood flows, your muscles contract, your mind processes information. When these systems work well, you feel energetic and strong. When they don't, you feel exactly like Robert did, tired, achy, and frustrated. The beautiful thing is that once you know what to look for, you can start making changes that support your body's natural healing abilities. Small adjustments in how you eat, move, and care for yourself can create remarkable improvements in how you feel. Let me tell you more about Robert's journey because his experience shows exactly why these tests matter so much. When Robert first came to see me, he'd been struggling for almost 2 years. It started gradually. A little less energy here, some joint stiffness there. His family doctor ran basic blood work and pronounced everything normal for your age. Robert accepted this verdict and tried to adjust his expectations. But the problems kept getting worse. Robert found himself napping every afternoon, something he'd never done in his life. Simple tasks like carrying groceries or working in his garden left him breathless. Worst of all, the sharp mind that had helped him solve complex construction problems was now foggy and slow. "I started avoiding social situations," Robert confided during our second visit. "I was embarrassed that I couldn't keep up with conversations or remember names of people I'd known for years. Margaret would invite friends over, and I'd find an excuse to leave the house." His relationship with Margaret suffered too. The man who had once swept her off her feet now felt like he had nothing to offer. They still loved each other deeply, but the spark that had sustained them through 40 years of marriage was flickering. Robert had tried various solutions on his own. He bought supplements from the pharmacy, started taking long walks, and even attempted one of those extreme diet programs he saw advertised online. Nothing helped. If anything, he felt worse. "I was beginning to think this was just my new reality," he told me, "getting old, feeling terrible, being a burden on my family. That's when I introduced Robert to the 4 simple tests. The first one we tried right there in my office. It takes less than a minute and requires nothing more than a stopwatch. Robert's result immediately revealed why he'd been feeling so tired and weak. The second test showed us why his thinking had become cloudy. The third explained his joint pain and stiffness. And the fourth test result made Robert's eyes widen with understanding. "You mean all this time my body was trying to tell me what was wrong?" he asked. "Exactly. Your body is constantly communicating with you, sending signals about what it needs. Most men over 60 have learned to ignore these signals or dismiss them as inevitable aging. But when you know how to listen, and these tests teach you how, you can respond in ways that help your body heal and strengthen itself." Within 2 weeks of starting the simple program I recommended based on his test results, Robert noticed changes. His afternoon fatigue lifted. His joints felt less stiff in the mornings. His mind seemed sharper during conversations. By the end of the first month, Robert was sleeping better than he had in years. He woke up feeling refreshed instead of groggy. His energy lasted throughout the day without that crushing afternoon crash. But the most remarkable change happened around week 6. Robert and Margaret had planned a weekend trip to visit their daughter's family 3 states away. In the past, such trips exhausted Robert for days afterward. This time, he not only kept up with his energetic grandchildren, but actually initiated a romantic evening with Margaret. "I felt like myself again," he told me with a grin during his follow-up visit. "Actually, I felt better than I had in my 50s. The tests had revealed that Robert's body wasn't getting what it needed to function properly, not because of some rare disease or serious medical condition, but because of common issues that affect millions of men his age. Issues that are completely fixable when you know what you're dealing with. Think of your body like a well-built house." Robert understood this comparison immediately, given his construction background. When a house starts showing problems, creaky floors, drafty windows, flickering lights, you don't tear it down and start over. You identify what's wrong and fix it. The same principle applies to your body after 60. When you feel tired, achy, and mentally foggy, your body isn't broken. It's like a house that needs some maintenance. The 4 tests help you figure out what kind of maintenance is required. For Robert, the tests revealed that his body was like a house with poor circulation. Imagine trying to live in a home where water barely trickled from the faucets and the heating system couldn't reach all the rooms. That's essentially what was happening inside Robert's body. His circulation had become sluggish, meaning his cells weren't getting the nourishment they needed or getting rid of waste efficiently. Once we understood this, the solution became clear. Robert needed to support his body's natural circulation, not with harsh chemicals or expensive procedures, but with simple, natural approaches that worked with his body's own healing abilities. I recommended specific foods that act like natural circulation boosters. Think of them as tune-up tools for your internal plumbing. Foods like beets, which contain natural compounds that help your blood vessels relax and expand. Garlic, which has been used for thousands of years to support healthy blood flow. Dark leafy greens that provide the building blocks your body needs to maintain flexible, healthy blood vessels. I also suggested gentle exercises that work like a pump for your circulation system. Not grueling workouts that leave you exhausted, but simple movements that encourage blood flow throughout your body. Walking, swimming, and basic stretching can be incredibly powerful when done consistently. The third piece of Robert's program involves stress management. Chronic stress acts like a brake on your circulation system, keeping your blood vessels tight and restricted. I taught Robert simple breathing techniques that work like a reset button for his body command center, helping his body shift from stressed and restricted to calm and open. Finally, we addressed Robert's sleep quality. Poor sleep is like trying to run a house with faulty wiring. Everything works harder and less efficiently. By making simple changes to his evening routine and sleep environment, Robert's body could finally get the deep, restorative rest it needed to repair and strengthen itself. The beautiful thing about this approach is that it works with your body's natural design, not against it. Your body wants to feel strong and energetic. It wants your mind to be sharp and your joints to move smoothly. When you remove the obstacles and provide the right support, healing happens naturally. Robert's transformation didn't require expensive supplements or complicated protocols. The foods I recommended were available at any grocery store. The exercises could be done at home without special equipment. The stress management techniques took just minutes a day. Most importantly, these weren't temporary fixes, but lifestyle changes that continued to benefit Robert months later. When I saw him recently, almost a year after our first meeting, he looked like a different man. His posture was straighter, his eyes were brighter, and his handshake was firm and confident. "Margaret says, I'm more fun to be around now," he told me with a laugh. Apparently, I'd gotten pretty grouchy there for a while. I didn't realize how much feeling bad had affected my mood and personality. If Robert's story sounds familiar, please know that you're not alone, and you're not destined to feel terrible just because you're over 60. Every single day in my practice, I see men transform their health and vitality using these same simple principles. The 4 tests I've developed can be your starting point, just like they were for Robert. They'll help you understand what your body needs right now, today. More importantly, they'll show you that the power to feel better is already within you. Your body has an amazing capacity to heal and strengthen itself when given the right support. You don't need to accept fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, or diminished intimacy as inevitable parts of aging. These are often signs that your body is asking for help. And once you learn to listen and respond appropriately, remarkable changes become possible. Remember, small consistent actions create big results over time. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with the tests, see what they reveal, then take one small step at a time towards supporting your body's natural vitality. Dr. Catherine Morgan Menz, Vitality Specialist. Take care of yourself, Dr. Catherine Morgan Menz, Vitality Specialist,